Okay, good evening. I'm going to call to order the regular session for the City of Lewisville Planning and Zoning Commission for Tuesday, September 6th, and we do have a quorum present. The first item on the agenda is to consider the minutes of the August 16th, 2022 meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, may I have a motion, please?
Move to approve.
Motion by Karen.
Second.
Second by Aram. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda is a regular hearing. It is the final plat of Civic Center Edition, Lot 1R-1, Block A, on 16.216 acres out of the S.A. Venters Survey, abstract number 1309. This is zoned public use district, located at 184 and 188 North Valley Parkway, 191 Civic Circle Drive, and 1187 and 1197 West Main Street, being a replat of lots 1R, 2, 3, and 4, Block A, Civic Center Edition.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is the plat for the city project for the new public safety center over at Civic Central Drive. So we're excited to take this plat forward as it's a step moving forward with this large project that was approved by the voters. However, on the submittal that came in on August 8th, there were some deficiencies that staff noted, and so we are recommending tonight that the Planning and Zoning Commission disapprove the final plat of the Civic Center Edition Lot 1R-1 for the deficiencies listed in the memo and delegate to staff the authority to accept and approve the plat once the listed deficiencies are corrected. And then we'll bring back the approved plat to the chair for signature.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Okay. If not, then may I have a motion on this item, please?
I will vote. I move to disapprove the final plat of the Civic Center Edition Lot 1R-1 for the deficiencies listed above and delegate to staff the authority to accept and approve the plat once listed deficiencies are corrected.
Motion by Aram.
Second.
Second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. The next item is also a regular hearing. This is the final plat of Crown Center Tract B, Phase 1 Edition on 32.094 acres out of the BBB and CRR Survey, abstract number 180, and the J.E. McWhorter Survey, abstract number 1690, zoned Planned Development Mixed Use District, located northeast of Farm to Market 544, south of State Highway 121 Business, and northwest of State Highway 121 Sam Rayburn Tollway.
Good evening, Commissioners. So this plat is for Castle Hills Crown Center Tract B, which is over at the intersection of Business 121, 121, and FM 544. Again, this plat came in on August the 8th. Staff has reviewed it, and we've provided the listed deficiencies in the memo. Our recommendation is the same as the previous item, which is that the Planning and Zoning Commission disapprove the final plat of Crown Center Tract B Phase 1 for the deficiencies listed above and delegate to staff the authority to accept and approve the plat once the listed deficiencies are corrected and bring the approved plat back to the chair for signature.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Are there any questions, Commissioner? Okay, if not, may I have a motion on this item, please?
Move to disapprove as presented for the deficiencies listed and give staff the authority to approve once deficiencies are met.
Motion is by Aram.
Second.
Second by Karen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Next item is a public hearing. This is consideration of a zone change request from specific use landfill operations and accessory uses district zoning and light industrial district zoning to specific use landfill operations and accessory uses district zoning with an amended engineering site plan on approximately 21.6606 acres legally described as Lot 1, Block A, Republic Edition, and 1161 acres out of the P. Higgins Survey, Abstract 525, and .2336 acres of the S.M. Hayden Survey, Abstract 537, located at 551 Huffines Boulevard and the south end of Barfunk Lane at the west end of Oak Tree Lane, as requested by Beatty Lowe, Republic Services, the property owner.
Good evening, Commissioners. I've got up there the existing survey of the existing conditions. So Republic Services does currently have a waste hauling facility at this location where they do park their dump trucks and dispatch them from. They do some repairs, fuel them, clean them. They're expanding. With the growing population in the area, there is a need for expansion of all these types of services. And so they've acquired property to the southeast. And so they're proposing a fairly substantial expansion that would about double the size of the building and the parking lot. What they would be doing is finishing out a cul-de-sac at the end of Huffines Drive and then putting their truck parking to the south of that. Between the building and Huffines Drive would be employee parking. Trucks would not be able to use Huffines Drive. That would be limited to employee vehicle traffic only. So the trucks would continue to come in as they do now through Huffines, not through Barfneck, excuse me. The cul-de-sac's at the end of Barfneck Drive. So the trucks would continue to come in as they do today through Huffines Boulevard, come through the site, fuel up, wash out, unload their containers in a container area, and then park when they're not in use. And so to do this is, their current facility is zone specific use for the landfill associated use. And they need to rezone the remaining property, which is light industrial that they've acquired, and they also need to update their engineering site plan for their existing property. Because of this specific use district, you do have to have an engineering site plan on file with the zoning. So the applicant has done that. The site plan in the packet did contain 1 or 2 comments remaining by staff that were in purple. Those have been addressed, and they emailed us a version today that does in fact have those variances that they're requesting listed on the front. The 2 variances that they are requesting today are to allow chain link fencing with live screening in lieu of solid screening device in the areas where the screening requirement conflicts with the floodplain, and to allow Oak Tree Lane and Barfneck Lane to have dead ends longer than 600 feet, and to terminate Oak Tree Lane with an emergency access easement and gate in lieu of a cul-de-sac. As I mentioned, they are putting a cul-de-sac at the end of Barfneck Lane. They will have a gate for their employees to access the employee parking. There will also be an emergency access gate so that emergency services can come in that way. The emergency services gate will actually have access to Oak Tree Lane as well. That's also a substandard street that currently terminates in a substandard cul-de-sac. And the idea here is, we know there's frequent flooding along Oak Tree Lane as it's all built within the floodplain today. It was annexed to the city in these conditions. So this would allow our emergency responders another point of ingress and egress to the area. It would be gated. While a solid screening wall would be preferred, it would impede the flow of water since a portion of where it's required is within the floodplain. So the applicant has proposed to do a living screening, which is a combination of canopy evergreen trees, live oaks, along with large shrubs that are 6 foot tall at time of planting. They're planted in a double staggered row, and I'll pull up that landscape plan for you. So here's the street trees along Huffines, street trees and parking lot trees along Barfneck Lane, and then here's the screening proposed along the future corporate drive extension. There will be no access from the future corporate drive extension, along with the planting plan with the large shrubs and canopy trees, along with the chain link fence. So that fence runs from just south of Oak Tree Lane down along the southern side of the property, and just up to here. So it's just within those floodplain limits that they're doing that. Outside of that, it is a solid composite fence. That solid composite fence will range from 8 feet to 12 feet in high, depending on the grade, to ensure that they can screen the trucks. Staff did have one adjacent property owner come in and speak to us. It's the property owner on this tract right here. There is proposed to be that 8 foot composite screening fence in this location. But that's the only feedback we've gotten from the letters that we've sent out so far.
Okay.
So there is, Republic is here to answer any questions, and this is a public hearing this evening. Staff's here for questions as well.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant and or staff? Okay. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, please come forward, sign in, and we'll be happy to hear from you.
Good evening. Thanks
Evening.
for letting me come here and speak. I've lived at 527 Barfnick Lane since September of 2006 in that property right there. And so my opposition is just the traffic that's coming down the road on an unimproved road where there's no street lights or curbing. It's very narrow. The traffic's probably going to be 50 times more than it ever has. You know, I mean, it's just the two residents there and then some businesses up further. So that traffic going back and forth is a safety issue without road improvements. And of course, no streetlights because I've lived, I think they've been operating since the end of 2017. And the noise factor is tremendous at times. So the second issue I have is just when they're going to move the trucks from the west of my property to the south of my property directly. And just, you know, my concern is just privacy and noise. So if there's some kind of fencing that we could, use for, or they could use, or we could talk about to increase the privacy and you know, reduce the noise factor from that point, just along that property line there. And then property behind me, I think they're developing that into like a cricket field type place. So the height of the fence would be kind of important to assume. Sorry. But those are my two main concerns in opposition to the project. But if there's consideration to address the safety of this traffic and then privacy for those properties, those last
Okay.
two properties.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to come forward on this item? Having no one else come forward, then I will go ahead now and close the public hearing. Michelle, is there an opportunity for this gentleman to speak with Republic or with staff further about his concerns?
Yes, so I've relayed his concerns to Republic, and they are going to look into the fencing and
Okay.
possibly providing a more robust fence than is proposed currently along that property line. But there's no commitment on that at this point.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, any discussion, commissioners, questions, concerns?
Michelle, have we received any other opposition or emails or concerns?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. At this time, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion on this item. May I have a motion on this item, please?
I'll move to approve the zone change request as set forth in the caption above.
Thank you. Motion is by Aram.
Second.
Second is by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0.
Chairman Mixa, this item will be considered by the City Council at a second public hearing. They will be making a decision at that meeting, which will be held on Monday, October the 3rd, 2022, at 7 o'clock p.m.
Okay, October 3rd. All right, you'll have an opportunity to come before council then again, if you guys desire to. Okay, and the final item for this evening is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Karen,
Second.
second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.